there was a time when Instagram, whenever I'd post a couple posts, I'd get a case. And then I remember one day, I think it was like December 2019 or 18. I'm like, I'm just gonna post every day on Instagram. I'm gonna kill it. And right when I did that, they changed the algorithm on Instagram where it wasn't like showing up anymore. Like, oh, I lost that one. And then TikTok came around. I was going hard at it and worked really well. And then I was like, oh, I'm killing it. Look, I got like 10,000 followers in a month. And I thought that was a big deal for TikTok. TikTok, you have much more followers. They're easier to get. And then I slowed
Yeah.
off on it. And then everyone else took off and it died down. Like, I didn't take advantage. Then LinkedIn was really good, but I took my foot off the pedal. And now, like, LinkedIn is kind of getting oversaturated with immigration lawyers posting. So, because I essentially anyone's an immigration lawyer on LinkedIn I connect with. So, like, most of my followers are immigration lawyers. And I see the consistency of when, like, USCIS says, oh, we updated this rule about paying filing fees with checks or not paying checks and stuff like that. And there'll be people that just regurgitate that. And I guess if the people following them aren't, I'm following every single immigration
Yeah.
attorney. So I'm like, oh, it's the same thing over and over again. But other
Right.
people don't see that.
Right.
But then there's people that'll like,
Exactly.
I did an interview with Jimmy Lai. He like is talking unique stuff. Bob Weber is killing it. Like I think he posts this publicly. He's probably one of the fastest growing law firms in America right now. He's killing it business wise. And it's his LinkedIn marketing that he's doing, especially because he works on NIWs, EB1As. But his content is really good. Every time it comes up, I want to read it. And it's like, it's a skill to have to be that good. But even the ones that just copy paste that USCIS updated a memo and stuff, it's worth doing just to get your face out there. But if you write quality stuff like
Exactly.
he does, where it's always interesting to read, the problem will be just handling the case flow, the intake when someone
Yeah.
calls you, sales, contracts, doing the case. That becomes a problem, which has been my problem, like how to streamline the business. But the marketing, I don't have an issue with. It's just the business stuff I have an issue with. That's harder for me.
Well, you get out of it what you put into it. I mean, as you said, but at least for the people who are just putting out kind of generic stuff, at least, like you said, it's something. If they have 500 followers and amongst those followers are a few of their clients, that's still better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, if you're being unique and creative, you have your own voice and you kind of carve out your niche, or people, like you said, are just interested in reading what you have to say. But yeah, you got to get out there. I will say, maybe we can leave this for another episode, but I will say LinkedIn algorithm is changing. However, and I posted about this the other day, I'm getting more notifications than ever about how my comments are performing on other people's posts. So I get notifications that say, Roman, your comment has 1,000 impressions,
Oh,
which
wow.
is kind of
Yes.
amazing in terms
We'll
of a
start
comment. It's not
commenting.
even
That's a
a
big deal.
post. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I love this because this is a new development in terms of, first of all, on LinkedIn, when you comment on a post, whether it's your own or whether it's somebody else's post, it now shows the number of impressions that your comment has gained. And so it's giving you visual data and
Mhm.
feedback, right? Which is a cue. So if it's giving you, what do they say? You can't fix what you can't measure,
Yeah.
I believe. You can't grow what you can't measure. Point is, you need data. And so when you see the number of impressions that your comments are gaining, that gives you some insight into like what comments did well, what comments didn't do well, et cetera. That's number one. Number two, they're feeding you that as notifications. I've always told my clients, even before LinkedIn started showing the number of impressions, I told them comments are where you build relationships, right? And so if you're not commenting on people's posts and you're not replying to comments on your own post
You mentioned
in
that
a
to me
sort of a
before. It's like when
valuable
I
way,
comment, you got to reply. Don't just put a happy
you
face
got
or
to reply.
something. Yeah. It's laziness to a
Yeah,
certain, but you got to
exactly.
do it.
And if you just say thanks, 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 thanks for every comment, like if I put myself in the shoes of the person who's commenting, because I do that a lot, I'm very active, right? You put a post out and I'll reply to it in the comments and I'll say, hey, John, this is really interesting. I definitely agree with you that blah, 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 XYZ. I took a minute of my time and some mental energy and whatever to comment on your post. If all you do is just like it, or even if you comment, but you just write thanks, in my head, whether it's conscious or subconscious, I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't want to do that again. I just spent all this time and kind of like engaging with John and hoping to have maybe a conversation or something, quote unquote, in the comments. And John just, you just liked my comment. You got the benefit of me spending my time and energy commenting, but you didn't reciprocate, right? And I think subconsciously that disincentivizes people to comment on your posts in the future. Whereas if you reply, oh, Roman, thank you so much for the comment. I love what you said. Give me a little bit of something based on what I wrote. Number one, makes me feel seen. Number two, maybe it keeps we go again and I comment again and we go back and forth. And that's amazing for your post. And then number three, for the future, I know that you reply to my comments and we can have a conversation. I see a future post of yours and I'm more incentivized to comment on it at that time.
So this might be unique to me. It's one of the reasons I don't like text messaging and stuff because like I like just having a conversation, a long conversation instead of small ones. Where do you draw a line of like, okay, you make comment and I make one, and you go back and forth. Where do we cut it off, or when it's like, okay, do I stop it? Might be my lack of social skills or ability, like social EQ or something.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an art form. I mean, sometimes well, first of all, if you wanna cut the conversation short, let's say you know that you wanna comment, you don't wanna fall behind on it, but, like, you're busy, you can't just keep going back. You can't have LinkedIn open all day. Sometimes you could reply and you might say, "Roman, thanks for so much. I love your second reply, blah, blah, blah. Gotta get" I literally will write this in a comment, "Gotta get back to work now. Thanks for your comment," right? "Thanks for the comments." Or, you put a little period at the end of it. Sometimes it just fizzles out and it's natural. Other times you just somebody one person feels or another. Don't worry too much about that because then you start
I don't want to
this
hurt
is
someone. Give a
before the
quick answer, like I get away. I don't want it to come off like that, or just like leave them on a.
Yeah, my perspective is if you've replied to their comment in a substantive way, you already have not hurt their feelings. I mean, nobody's going to be expecting you to reply to everything right away, right? But if you've at least done it once, but here's what I do sometimes once a week or once in a while, I'll go through my, let's say, latest 4 or 5 posts and I'll skim through all the comments just to make sure I got to everything. And there are times where I've missed a comment. And like you said, I don't want to make them feel a certain way. I'll reply and say, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I missed this comment 3 weeks ago." And then I'll reply to them, "I think that's okay." So I treat it as I would a human being in real life. You've said something to me. I want to reply to you. I'm not going to ignore you. Whether I reply to you immediately or I reply to you later sort of isn't as much of a big deal as I think replying at all. So
Yeah.
that's my thought about it.
And one thing is like replying to comments is easier to come up with your whole LinkedIn post. So it's an easier way to people to participate without having to reinvent the
Exactly.
wheel, of like making a whole post and everything.
Totally. Just to comment on that, because I know we didn't expect to talk about LinkedIn, but you can't bring me on here and talk about marketing and not have it come up. As a final thought, absolutely. Some people say, I don't know what to write about. I don't know how to be active on LinkedIn. Fine. Fine. I'm not going to force you. But what I will recommend you do, what I will suggest is at the very least, go onto LinkedIn and scroll through your homepage to see what other people are writing and use that as inspiration and comment on what they have to say. Definitely, as you said, easier to reply to someone else's idea than to come up with your own. And because LinkedIn now is really valuing comments so much, arguably, you could probably grow your following and get something positive out of LinkedIn without posting at all. I wouldn't recommend it, but I do think that if you start just commenting once a day, it's already going to be
Well, this
huge.
podcast go longer, but it's over my. Is it better to comment there or do a repost with comments and have like that? I guess reshare. I guess it's a different goal when you reshare. You just bring a whole new idea or something. But how
Yeah,
valuable is the?
so my quick thought on that is sharing somebody's post will never get, in my experience, doesn't get you as many impressions as a comment would on their post. But sharing someone's post helps them get more impressions and reach for their post. Does that make sense? So if you posted something, you, John, posted something, and I really want to say something about it, and I want to say something about it because I want the eyeballs on me, and my profile, I will comment on your post to get to that goal. Me sharing, clicking the share button, even if I write my own thoughts, but I share your post, by sharing a post, my share doesn't get a lot of impressions. It's just how
Interesting.
the algorithm works from what I've noticed. So yeah, I would recommend commenting first. But you know what? I share sometimes too. I actually share from my business page because I don't really care about the impressions that much. So I'll support friends and clients and whatnot by sharing their content, but I don't share it from my personal LinkedIn account. I share it from my business account.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, people should have their own personal and business to set up that. So when they're looking up, people are looking at your bio on your LinkedIn page. You have your logo and stuff that goes to the business. That should be there as well.
Yeah,
And one side note is people
totally.
are like for us for like Immigration Lawyers Toolbox. There's random people who say they work for Immigration Lawyers Toolbox. So it comes up on that page, and I used to be able to get it off, and now LinkedIn's not letting me like have them removed. So it's annoying. So then people think if they get friends with people, they think they work for Toolbox, but they don't. But I don't know how to get them off the LinkedIn page. So be aware of that kind of stuff, that kind of fraud happening too.
Interesting. I don't know about that either, but I can take a look at that if you'd like. See
Yeah, there
what
was an easy. It
comes
wasn't
up.
easy, but I looked at it before. We have to like notify you, LinkedIn. But they took away. They keep revamping the pages, and so like I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, how do I get this removed? And then it told me how to do it, but those options, those buttons don't exist on my LinkedIn anymore because they keep changing the user, I or whatever user interface. So
Yeah.
it's just what it is. People have to
Well,
do. Eventually, it's going to be this blockchain where people can identify and say, okay, this is the actual person. But until the blockchain and it gets commonplace, there's gonna be a lot of fraud happening with AI and everything else
I
in
hope.
digital.
Hope Hope you're right. I hope you're right.